It was just another unremarkable evening. I had come home late from work, tired and craving nothing more than a frozen dinner and some mindless TV. But as I unlocked the door and stepped into my house, I immediately felt that something was off. The air felt heavy, charged somehow, and there was a faint sound, like a shuffle or whisper coming from the kitchen. My heart started to race. I reached for the closest thing resembling a weapon, an umbrella leaning near the door. "Hello," I called out, my voice cracking in a way that would have embarrassed me under any other circumstances. No response. I crept toward the kitchen, the umbrella shaking slightly in my hands. The light was off, but there was a silhouette, a figure sitting in the corner of the room, leaning against my cabinets. "Who's there?" I demanded, flipping the light switch on. And that's when I saw her. She was huddled on the floor, knees pulled to her chest. Her skin shimmered faintly, an unnatural bluish-silver hue. Her face was sharp, angular, beautiful in a way that didn't seem entirely human. Her eyes were what struck me the most, golden, glowing faintly, but filled with something unmistakable, desperation. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Please, I am hungry." I stood frozen, umbrella still raised like it was going to save me. "What? Who are you?" She looked up at me, her eyes narrowing slightly, as if trying to decide if I was dangerous. "I mean you no harm. I swear it. I have been hungry for days." She didn't look like a threat. If anything, she looked fragile, her silvery skin slightly dimmed, as if her very essence was fading. Her suit, sleek and form-fitting, made of strange glowing patterns, looked torn in places, like it had been through a battle. Against every instinct screaming at me to call someone, to run, I lowered the umbrella. "Are you an alien?" "Yes," she said softly. "My name is Alara. I come from the Clyri system, far beyond your stars." I blinked, trying to process. "How did you get here? And why are you sitting in my kitchen?" She closed her eyes briefly, as if speaking was exhausting. "My vessel crashed. I escaped, but I was wounded. I have not eaten since I arrived on your world. Your food, it smells so rich. Please, I will die without it." I don't know why I believed her. Maybe it was the way she looked at me, like I was her last hope. Or maybe I was just too curious to say no. "All right," I said, hesitating. "You're lucky I was about to heat up some food. Do you eat what we eat?" "I do not know," Alara admitted. "But I will try." I pulled a frozen pizza from the freezer, shoved it into the oven, and tried to act like feeding an alien in my kitchen was completely normal. She watched me intently, her golden eyes tracking every movement like a hawk's. As we waited, I asked, "Why haven't you just, I don't know, gone to someone else? A hospital? The police?" She looked away, her expression darkening. "I cannot. Your kind would not understand me. They would see me as a threat." "Fair point," I muttered. "So why my house?" "It is quiet. You are alone. And your scent, it is kind. My scent." I blinked. "You mean like deodorant?" Her lips curved into something that might have been a smile. "Perhaps." When the pizza was finally ready, I placed it in front of her, feeling ridiculous. "Okay, food. Try not to die." Alara stared at the pizza, her glowing eyes narrowing. "This is food. It's pizza," I said. "The best mankind has to offer." She picked up a slice carefully, as if it might explode. I half expected her to sniff it or disintegrate it with alien powers, but instead, she took a small bite. Her golden eyes widened in shock, and she ate the rest of the slice in 3 quick bites. This is incredible," she said breathlessly. "The flavors, so much salt and warmth and cheese." I grinned despite myself. "Yeah, pizza's pretty great." Alara devoured 3 more slices before she finally slowed down. Her skin, which had looked so dim before, now shimmered a little brighter, the glow of her armor patterns faintly pulsing. "You're glowing," I said, pointing. She looked down at herself, surprised. "The energy from your food. It nourishes me." "You run on pizza?" I said with a laugh. "That's wild. You've come to the right planet, Alara." Once she finished eating, Alara leaned back against the cabinets, her breathing steady for the first time since I'd seen her. "You saved me," she said softly. "Thank you." I shrugged. "It's just pizza." "No, it is more than that. You did not need to help me, yet you did. That is rare." There was a sadness in her voice that I couldn't ignore. "What happened to you? Why are you here?" She looked up at me, her golden eyes full of pain. "My people are at war. I was sent to scout this world as a potential refuge. But I was pursued by enemies. My ship was shot down before I could call for help. I barely escaped. And now they're looking for you," I said, realization dawning. "Yes." Her voice was quiet. "And if they find me, they will not stop there. They will come for your world, too." I stared at her, my mind spinning. "So, what now? Are you strong enough to leave?" "Not yet," Alara said, shaking her head. "I must regain my strength and repair my vessel. But I cannot do it alone. You want my help?" I asked incredulously. "I'm not exactly a space mechanic." "You are kind," she said simply. "And you have food. That is enough." Over the next few days, my life turned upside down. Alara hid in my house, resting and eating her fill of whatever food I could prepare. She told me about her world, her people, and the vast war raging beyond the stars. It wasn't long before trouble came. One night, a deep, mechanical hum shook the ground. I ran to the window and saw ships, sleek, black vessels descending from the sky like hunting birds. Alara appeared beside me, her skin glowing brighter than ever. "They have found me," she said. "What do we do?" I asked, panic rising. She turned to me, her golden eyes blazing. "We fight." The battle that followed was chaos. Alara moved like a force of nature, her glowing armor projecting shields and energy blasts that tore through the invaders. I wasn't much use until I hurled a cast-iron skillet at one of them. It worked better than I expected. When the last ship retreated, leaving smoldering craters in my yard, Alara turned to me, smiling faintly. "You are braver than you know." "Yeah, well," I said, panting, "I didn't sign up for this." "You did," she said softly. "When you gave me food." By dawn, Alara was ready to leave. She stood beside her repaired vessel, looking at me with gratitude. "You have saved my life," she said, "and perhaps your world as well. I will not forget you." "Take care of yourself," I said, trying not to sound emotional. She placed a glowing device in my hand. "If you ever need me, this will call me. I owe you a debt." With that, she stepped into her ship, and I watched as it soared into the sky, leaving a streak of light behind. As I stood there, holding the strange alien beacon, I couldn't help but smile. I had fed an alien. I had fought alongside her. And somehow, I had become part of a story far bigger than myself. And to think it all started with pizza.